All of heads of state and negotiators are coming together in Rio de Janeiro in June.
And Rio+20 will be the chance to try to deal with the crisis that we have currently in the world right now.
It is of great relevance that this meeting is a success, not only for me and my generation, but for the ones to come.
There's a text that's called The Future We Want that's being discussed,
which is supposed to outline how we're going to make the world a better place, in theory.
Brackets is sending a delegation of 14 students to Rio.
We're a group of students who are studying international policy and have studied it to the extent that we want to be able to shout and to interact with delegates and really have a say in what's going on.
We work together to try to translate the political language into a language that everyone can understand.
So it's an online platform.
And we create our own content, we blog, we tweet.
But we go and we talk and we try to push forward for the things that we believe in.
We care about these issues, we have different perspectives, we come from different backgrounds, but we have common concerns.
They're negotiating essentially our future, and we don't have a say in that.
I'm not sure how much of that community partnership is there out there and how much commitment is there in real life and not only in paper, but how much is going to be happening in real terms after the talks in Rio.
The UN process is really disconnected, I feel, from the actual circumstances or the smaller details of the circumstances of people around the world.
It means that minorities don't get represented. It means that the environment doesn't get represented.
The positions of the developed countries are going to be a lot more powerful than the positions of developing countries.
There's a lot of power play that goes on, so larger countries or more powerful countries end up being able to pull the rope a little bit more in the way that they want, which isn't always a positive direction.
We can't just be following the developed world's model because that is inherently unsustainable.
The focus is being shifted from working towards sustainable development towards the reactivation of the economy at whatever cost.
I'm just worried that this is going to be once again used as a tool to get a little bit more out of the developing world.
We're talking about sustainable development, but I don't really think that anyone understands what actually needs to be done to make that happen.
Things like commodification of nature and the market approach to resource management and allocation is not only going to magnify the already existing social crisis, but it is going to fail to address the environmental crisis.
I feel that our way of governance is really outdated.
It has a lack of commitment, like a lack of action.
Are we gonna push forward for rights of the people and for rights of this earth and for the rights of nature, or are we just gonna bracket it as always?
Or when a country doesn't agree with the issue, they put brackets on it, which means they put it on hold.
If there is agreement, it'll be removed from the brackets, and if not, it will be deleted from the text.
To bracket words seems so easy, but to bracket them on text is easier than to bracket them on real life. And if it doesn't appear in the text, it seems that it was blown away.
We are putting the state of the earth on hold, which is not what we should do.
It basically means that our governments, the people who are supposed to represent our interests, have not agreed that the future of this planet that we live on is important enough to reach a consensus on.
What I would like to see is just a greater political will.
And they also have to not see like oceans, water, forests as separate things, because we live in a world where there are really intricate interconnections between them. And there is where the hottest issues are.
Well, I'm really pushing forward for the rights-based approach. The right to water, the right to development, the right to food.
The right to education and information access
those things should just be inherent.
At the core of the Rio+20 outcome document.
Like, I would really like to see things that acknowledge power structures and sort of inequalities, explicit inequalities, especially in relation to transnational corporations and how those affect access to food for people around the world.
We have a large focus on food and food sovereignty.
Food sovereignty is a lot more than food security, because food security does not say where this food comes from, how is it produced, what kind of food it is. It just talks about food that fulfills their nutritional requirements.
Food sovereignty is the right for farmers and consumers to produce food in the way that they want, with secure access to land, with the seeds that they want, with the inputs they want, using the techniques that they want.
If we actually change the mindset of those who push forward for the food security instead of pushing forward for the food sovereignty, which is a whole new world of possibilities, we can actually get somewhere, and we can actually feed people with what we have in a sustainable kind of way.
On the civil society side, I would hope that there is a large, like a really, really big movement of people.
And I would really like to see negotiators take us seriously and hear our voice in a formal space that's not just 5 minutes at the beginning and 5 minutes at the end, or 2 minutes in the middle, and be able to hold negotiators accountable for what they're saying and then their lack of action. I'm excited about going to Rio, and I really believe we're gonna spend some constructive time there and meet some constructive people and people who believe in life. I really hope to see the passion and the momentum and the people rising up from the bottom and start linking up, because if we don't do it, no one else can.
Really, without the people, they cannot make